Hi everybody, welcome back to my outdoor kitchen. Now we all have that one signature dish that we love and we know we're gonna serve it every Thanksgiving because the whole family loves it. Today I'm gonna show you mine. This creamy broccoli rice and mushroom casserole is a hit in my house every Thanksgiving. Very easy to put together. Now I've got 2 pounds of fresh broccoli right here. 2 pounds is about right. I'm gonna be using a 9 by 12 dish right here, and it's 2.5 inches deep. But you can use a 9 by 13. It'll work just fine. Now my broccoli is nice and clean. I'm gonna be removing most of the stem. You don't want a lot of the stem in this dish. I usually just remove the tip, and then I'm going to cut off all the little florets. You don't wanna serve big florets in your dish. You wanna make sure that you take them off the stem. Very easy. When you have a big one like this, you can just cut it into small ones because you do want bite-sized pieces. So I have all my florets cut up into small bite-sized pieces. But these tender little stems, I don't throw them away. I keep them. And then I cut them up into small pieces and add them to the dish. And they'll fill in all those gaps. I'm gonna spray my dish real nicely like this. And I'm gonna add all my florets right in the dish. And here it is, all in place. Now here are the little tender stems. I'm gonna cut them up into small pieces and I'm gonna use them. As a matter of fact, these are my Ron's favorite. He loves these pieces right here. And I'm just gonna put them in my dish and just push them down. They will cook just fine. So now I'm just gonna cover it up with a towel and I'm gonna set it out of the way for just a little bit while I prepare my creamy sauce. I'm gonna set my heat on medium. I'm gonna be using this skillet right here. And I'm gonna add my butter. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter. This is regular salted butter. So now that my butter is melted, I'm gonna add my shallots. I've got 2 nice medium-sized shallots, finely chopped. And I add them in here, move them around so they can release their flavor right in the butter. And I've got 1 cup of sliced mushrooms. I'm gonna add them in here too. I'm gonna give it about 3 minutes because I want the mushrooms to release all the water. You know that the mushrooms are mostly water and you don't want mushy mushrooms. So after 3 minutes, the water has evaporated. I'm gonna add my garlic. I have 2 large garlic cloves, finely minced. And I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You can add as much as you want. I have 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And I've got 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You can leave these out if you don't want any heat. I'm gonna add my heavy whipping cream, 1.5 cups. Now you wanna move it around gently like this. You don't want it to come up to a boil because if it comes up to a boil, then it's gonna get grainy and it's gonna curdle on you. Now I'm gonna add my cream cheese. I have 4 ounces, room temperature. Now I'm gonna move this around gently so that the cream cheese will get nice and smooth together with the heavy cream. I'm gonna add some pepper. You can add as much as you want. That's good. And I'm gonna whisk it around gently. So everything is nice and smooth and my cream cheese has melted beautifully. Now I'm gonna turn off the heat and I'm gonna set my skillet right here because you don't want it on the heat anymore, but it's still really hot. I've got 1 cup of freshly grated white sharp cheddar cheese and I'm gonna add it in here and whisk it so it can melt and be nice and smooth. You can use your favorite cheese, but I like to use sharp white cheddar because for this dish, you want a cheese that is nice and sharp so it can stand out. And you want to add it slowly, a little bit at a time. And you want to continue whisking so it'll melt real nice. So now I'm ready to add my delicious cream sauce into the broccoli dish. I have 1 cup of cooked rice. This is white cooked rice that I cooked early this morning. I like the combination. Now you can leave it out if you don't want any rice in here, but it's so delicious mixed in with the broccoli. You want to distribute it evenly. See how pretty that looks? Now I'm going to add my creamy sauce. And you want to make sure that you get every drop because this is heavenly delicious. Just move it around. Once it gets into the oven, it'll just melt beautifully and it'll just, flow everywhere. Now I'm going to add 1 more cup of freshly grated white sharp cheddar cheese. And I'm going to top it. Now I'm going to top it with some panko breadcrumbs. These are optional. If you don't want to use them, you can leave them out. But I just think that they get nice and gold and the dish looks really pretty when they get toasty. This is about 1/4 of a cup. And that's good. Now I'm going to cover it up with some aluminum foil. I've got my oven preheated to 375 degrees. I'm only going to put it in there covered for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I'm going to remove the aluminum foil, uncovered, for 15 minutes so that it can get nice and golden. So 35 minutes. My delicious casserole is ready. Come take a look. So it's been about 5 minutes. Now it's time to serve. I'm going to put some chives up here. They just look pretty on top. You can use a spatula or you can use a spoon. Look at this. This will go perfect on Thanksgiving Day. It's perfect when you barbecue, just any day. Now it's time for the taste test. Oh my goodness. This is heavenly delicious. This is a winner. The flavor of the rice with the broccoli and the sharp cheddar in here and those shallots. So this is my heavenly, creamy broccoli rice and mushroom casserole. If you like my recipe, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment and tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.